Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of YOML. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast, and we're back for another brand new week. And this is getting towards the holiday season, but we can't skip this for too long. And I had a few busy days, but we're back and we're trying to do Reflection 341. And it's a new book, Beaten Path.
No, it's not the best book. It's called Harvard Business Review on Leadership, Volume 2. It's exactly what it says. It's a Harvard Business Review's 10 must-reads on leadership. And they're like 10 little kind of short stories of it and like lessons. And what Harvard Business Review says is good leadership. I don't remember a single thing from this book. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, leadership, right?
I don't even know where this reflection came from. But this is the reflection title. This one is Consistently Inconsistent. And I think it was maybe just this got me thinking about work in general.
Yeah, I mean, her business is geared toward the workplace and businesses.
So the reflection title of this one is Consistently Inconsistent. The most fun that I ever have at any job is when it's brand new, when it's a new job, new company, new place, right? Nothing but new unanswered questions and new processes to learn and new products to understand and new product market fits to understand and new customers to understand and new questions to ask and new, everything's new. Like you wake up in the morning. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you wake up in the morning, it's like your mind is captivated by it. Your mind's captivated all day long. You feel like
your mind's engaged because it's more of a the discovery of it. I mean, this is how our brain feeds, right? It feeds on the newness.
Right.
And so when you have something new, it's like, and you think about it all the time. And it
all day.
engages your brain. It focuses your brain. Otherwise, if it, I've seen it before. It's starts slowly disengage and it starts to go to sleep. That's what your brain does.
Pretty much, yeah. So the most fun that I've ever had at any job, I mean, it doesn't matter if I worked at a company for 5 years, 7 years or whatever, but anytime I would switch jobs within that company, that was the most fun that I would have. Or when there was a new challenge that was put in front of me and it was just, you go to bed, you dream about it when you're sleeping, you wake up and the first thing in the morning you want to do is to go tackle it. I'm going through this now with the pickleball club. Like I wake up in the morning and I'm having trouble doing my reflections and first things first time.
You're distracted.
I'm immediately want to start going to get the stuff out of my head and start to get to work on, well, I need to do this. I need to figure out this. I need to do this. I need to figure out that. I need to go do this. And I'm like, no, stop. Just focus. That'll all be there in a second. Like, go do the stuff that matters to you. Like I have to actively tell myself to shut it down. And but that's because it's all so new, right? To your point, it's like the novelty just captivates us and it just locks us in, right? Now, like what ultimately ends up happening though is like that kind of fevered learning zone, where you're like everything is so new and novel to you. While it's fun and it's engaging, it's also exhausting. It's like that panic zone, that we talked about versus panic, stretch, comfort zone.
Right.
It's definitely a panic zone, especially if it's for work related activities where you don't really care about it anyway and somebody else's values that are throwing you into that. It's very much so throws you into the panic zone, and the panic zone is not a sustainable place to live life. Now, you might be able to endure in there for a little while, but eventually it's not good for your health. You're just going to eventually get exhausted and tired and burn yourself out, really. So the opposite of that though is like, great, finally we maybe figure out how to get out of panic zone and pull ourselves back into stretch zone, and eventually, like you said, you start to know what you're doing now, right? And then you get stuck in that comfort zone. That's the knowing zone, right? That's when you start to spend more time. The questions start to dry up. It's boring. You know exactly what you're doing every single day. I'm in that zone right now at work where it's like, all right, I got to go to this meeting. I got to go do this. Like, this is our process for this. This is what we do for this. Throw me a new bone. Throw me a new challenge. Throw me anything. Please, God, just give me something that I can go dive my teeth into to like actually, reinvigorate my brain, because you just get on cruise control. It gets boring. Knowing is so boring. We've talked about this so many times. Novelty, unfolds time and monotony collapses it. It just makes it so time feels like it just slugs on, right? When you get to that knowing stage, which is also not sustainable, right? Nobody wants to be bored out of their mind, and nobody wants to be hyper, panic mode, where you're constantly learning stuff all day long. Everybody wants to be in that stretch mode, right? That perfect blend, balanced state of pushing yourself just enough to stay out of your comfort zone, but not too much where you're in this crazy frenzied, everything is brand new kind of zone and you have no idea what you know. So this is what boils down to for me, the dilemma. How do you stay in that stretch zone, right? And how do you stay in that state where you're constantly invigorating yourself with new questions and challenges to solve, but at the same time, not knowing anything, right? It's a really delicate balanced state to be in, right? It's hard to figure out and it's hard to do it. So here's my personal solution to this. It's twofold. Number one, it's find ways to just mix up every single day, try new stuff all the time, purposely go out of your way to just try to do anything new that you can do. That's why I do these monthly challenges. That's why I do a lot of other random things just to keep my mind invigorated and engaged and read new books and do new things in this life, just because it keeps you going and it keeps your mind active and engaged and having fun and processing the world. Now, the second part of it is once you learn anything new out of these things, then you apply it to the one rock that you should always have. You should know better than anything, which is your purpose. That purpose should never really change. That should be the one thing that is boring as hell, right? I think your purpose should be boring because it's supposed to be the thing that you know more intimately, more than anything in the world. It shouldn't be constantly evolving and shaking everywhere. But if you take these new things that are inconsistent and you can apply it to your one constant, which is the consistent purpose you have in life, I think you can try to find that balanced state of that stretch, of that perfect stretch zone, where it's kind of consistently inconsistent.
But I don't completely agree with the choice of words.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Well,
Bring
are
it
you
on.
done? Are
Yeah,
you done?
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So I do agree with the gist of what you said. I just don't think that I agree with stretch zone and get out of your comfort zone or getting off balance and all that. I think this is the wording that people have been conditioning us to use. For
Yeah.
me, for once, I like to be in a comfort zone. And and you have to define what that is. Comfort zone is not what you say to me. Say, hey, True, you're in a comfort zone, right? And if you say, hey, True, you are just sitting there and watching TV, that isn't my comfort zone.
Right.
That is my bored zone. You
That's
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yep. Yep.
So my comfort zone is like
That's a good
where
point.
the center of balance is. My comfort zone is, oh, I am not stressed out, but I'm also engaged and focused and in the zone. I'm learning new
That's the stretch
things.
zone.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't agree with the wording. I
Yeah.
like comfort zone because I'm at most comfortable when I am doing things that is within my capacity. Let's say I know how to do programming but I want to take on new projects.
Mhm.
Okay. It's not like, oh, I have no idea what programming is and I want to take on a new project. That's just too much.
Right.
That's just outside is too stretched. But for me, my sweet spot is I know how to build mobile apps, but I want to build new mobile apps that incorporate new concept technology and whatnot. And that's the newness I want. Enough newness, right? Let's say newness of 20% newness
Right.
versus 25% newness. There is a certain specific newness or level for each and every one of us. And for me, it's 20% or whatever it is. I'm just making up a number for me. And to me, that is my comfort zone. I'm the most comfortable doing that because, for one, I have enough experience and enough skills in the programming aspect to have the confidence to take on something new. Therefore, I'm comfortable. When
Right.
I'm doing something that is engaging my mind and I can figure out solutions or I can, just like I told you about building my rails, right? When I couldn't remove the screws, right? I decide I can pivot quickly and take them all out by using a hacksaw and get rid of the old ones
Mhm.
without having to sit there and bang my head against it. How do I get rid of it? I can sit there all day long, but I can pivot quickly, right? That is my comfort zone. Because if you think about it, if everything goes smoothly, right? Everything is expected, right? To me, that isn't a comfort zone for me. That is like a bored zone, a
Right.
boredom zone for me. If I do something that I cannot solve, like, hey, I have no idea how to get this thing, or there's no tool for me to do it, and I don't know the tool. It's just like you put me into a marketing position, or you give me into a writing book, make me an
Right.
author, right? I can't. To me, that is a stress zone because it stresses me out.
Right.
So I like to redefine, because this is what I'm always have been arguing with everybody about, is that everybody keeps saying, hey, get out of your comfort zone. And say, why the fuck do I need to get out of my comfort zone?
Maybe it should be make your comfort zone more challenging. I don't know.
What is comfort zone?
Comfort zone is boredom. That's what it is to me.
Why do you call it comfort zone? I'm comfortable. Okay, let's say you're a person that likes a certain temperature. Let's say it's 75 degrees.
Right.
And you say, Ma, I don't like my comfort zone. I want to go and push it to 80 degrees.
I mean,
And then I'll go to 85 degrees.
but hang on, not totally stupid, because then maybe you have more appreciation when you come back down to 75 degrees.
So what's the point of comfort zone? You're stretching a comfort zone. Why are you stretching it? Why are you making hey, you come to at 70. Your body likes it 70. You most optimal at 70. You do things better at a 70. You're not distracted at 70, right? Now you want to go to 80. Why are you doing that? That's my question.
Why do you take a cold shower? Why do you take a sauna?
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but why would you do it?
No, I guess to me is if you like cold shower, then you take a damn cold shower, because there's no need to push yourself out. Because if you take cold shower, Chris, and you do that for a month, or you do that for 6 months, you do that for a year, and you stopped, you're just wasting time. If you are designed or made to take cold showers, then you're like cold shower. Because for me, I like 62 degrees, for example. I like 60 degrees to 70 degrees. That's my comfort zone. I don't want to go anywhere else. My wife, she says 70 to like 75. That's her comfort zone. That's different. I'm optimal at that state. I do work, right? I do better things because I'm not distracted. But I'm stretching my comfort zone. What's the point? Because I'm saying is your comfort zone, it is where you are most optimal. When we are optimal, when I'm optimal in my comfort zone, is when I'm also doing discovery. I'm not doing nothing new. If you didn't do nothing new, that isn't in my comfort zone. Because if I consider myself a thinker, right, then I need new topics to think about. That is my comfort zone. It's not in my stretch zone. So that's why I think I agree. Personally have a
terminology,
because I can't explain to you, but I somehow
I know what you're saying.
I'm disagree with what people say, and every single time somebody say get out of comfort zone, it kind of irks me a little bit. And like I said, I don't know why it does, but it does.
Well, it's because what you're saying, your comfort zone is somewhere where you prefer to challenge yourself in your comfort zone, and that is your comfort zone.
If you have challenge as your core values and challenging yourself every day.
Yeah, no, I
agree.
God,
God has given me the ability to think. Then I always think, right? I think all the time. Like I told you, I go outside because I'm working on my beach house right now. I go outside and I look at the rails and say, well, this rails is about 7 feet, right? It's not 8 feet. But I can calculate that through, and then, okay, I need 50 2x4s, and I can do I can do that pretty accurate, because that's my capacity, that's my ability to do, and that's my comfort zone.
That's a flow state that you're talking about, where your skills meet the demand of the activity you need to accomplish, and you're able to do it.
But I'm not stretched out. I'm not stretched at any means.
Is what you're talking about.
Let's say you're a football player, and you say, hey, I'm a wide receiver, and I can run at this speed, and I catch a ball with this range, right?
Right.
That's your comfort zone, right? And for an athlete, his need to progress is his comfort zone. It's not to say that his comfort zone, it's just this, his speed is only that much and he's done. His comfort zone is the need to also make progress on his speed as well.
Yeah, I
mean, to me, it is.
I mean, we all want growth.
Well, that's what I'm saying is your growth is part of your comfort zone.
It is.
So when you watch TV, right? You watch TV, you say, hey, I'm not watching like the same thing over and over that has no interest to me. I'm watching something new and something more, stimulating. And so that's to me.
I think the words, in the spirit of always being impeccable with your words, it would be the comfort zone to me then means no more questioning, no more novelty, boredom. You're just doing what you know how to do.
But so English is not my first language. So when I heard the word comfort, and based on what I can reference the word comfort with, what people use it for, in this usage, somehow I feel that it doesn't align. Because when you say, hey, I'm comfort, that means everything you have is at the right balance, is at the right place, right? It is in its proper design place.
That's what I would.
So if you say that as comfort, why would anyone want to get out of it? It doesn't align with what I understand it.
Well,
And
you're
it
talking
create
about when you say what you say to me, I hear the words balance and I hear the words harmony. That's what I hear when you're
right.
describing
So
your
let's say we use the word harmony, right?
right.
So comfort zone to me is harmony, and it may be or may not be, but to me, as of now, I think the word comfort is like harmony. So when you say, I want to get out of my comfort zone, it's like saying to me, I want to get out of harmony. And that logically does not make sense to
I
me.
would agree with that. I mean, if that's the way you're defining comfort, then I would agree that I don't want that either. I'm defining comfort as the boredom zone.
But let me ask you then, why are we defining comfort as a boredom zone? What is the relationship between boredom and comfort?
When something is comfortable to me, like you know it, like the back of your hand. There's no more novelty. Like I think of
But
a comfy sweater. It is what it is. It's not exciting. It's not fancy. There's nothing novel. You know, you wear it all the time. You know, it's got some holes in it. Whatever. It's not gonna. It's not. You're not stretching your fashion boundaries.
you want to stretch your fashion boundaries.
I don't know. Maybe there's other things out there that you like.
I mean, what do you want to put a dent in the universe? Right. So people say, "Hey, I want to build dams. I'm not gonna go build, a bridge, or I'm gonna build like, whatever. I just want to
Right.
feel good and have a good life." I don't know about you, but my purpose of living is to have an enjoyable life, not to put
Right.
a fucking dent in the universe. So you say, "Hey, I need to get out of my comfort zone." What am I achieving? If I say, "Through, you are a human being,
Novelty.
you
Novelty.
need to breathe, right? You need to breathe." I want to stop breathing, right? I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna hold my breath, right?
Right.
So what's the point? I'm asking, what's the point? I don't see the point in
It's
getting out of your comfort.
it's
I say,
learning.
if
It's
no,
novelty.
to me, if you are not doing the things that align with who you are, then you need to do things to make you go back into harmony with you oneself, which is yourself.
I agree.
So once you get there, you do that. Continue to do that, because that is going to give you the best joy, the best feeling. Because you are controlled by your feeling. You are controlled by your gene. If I squeeze your neck, right, you're gonna suffocate. It doesn't feel good, because you as a human being needs to breathe air, right? For
Right.
example. And so we say, "Hey, I don't, I want to get out of my comfort zone. I want to stop breathing air, for example." In that scenario, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
So what are we trying to get out of comfort zone for?
you train your heart with faster and slower in order to find a happy median, a comfort zone, I guess, with your heart rate
But
for
that's
long.
why that activity in itself, it is comfortable to me. For when I lift weights, right, I'm comfortable. It's not that I'm uncomfortable. I like it.
Right.
When I eat spicy food, right, I like it. I don't know about you, but I like spicy food.
No,
Right?
I know what you're
So
saying.
it's saying, hey, you are created by with a certain set of genes. You like certain things. For me, it's like I do programming every single day. I look at code almost every single day, but I like it. I'm in the zone. To me, that is comfortable for me. I'm comfortable doing that. But within that comfortable, the progression of learning more, or learning, like learning meaning taking in new stimuli, input, and crafting some patterns. That is what I want. That is the comfort zone for me.
That's an activity, though. You make an interesting statement about the activities you do, because when I think of like athletics for me, or like sports or tennis or pickleball or whatever, right? Like every shot is new, every game is new, everything about it is new. Even if the game is old as time and I've played it a million different times, every single time that I step onto a court against a new opponent in a new environment with a new weather pattern, with new sun, with new light, with new shade, with new darkness and whatever, and different shots, every point is different, right? Like to your point, like it's I'm comfortable on a
You're
court.
comfortable taking on a challenge.
Yes, I'm comfortable being in an
Exactly. This
uncomfortable
is
space.
exactly, you like inconsistency,
Mhm.
right? That is your comfort zone. If you don't like it, you're in a stress zone. There's no need for you in a stress zone. I'm not saying that when you're in a comfort zone, nothing changes. The comfort zone is actually the things that is, the thing is, nothing in our world, it is stagnant. Everything is always moving. It's like a treadmill. It's always
Right.
moving, right? So you cannot stay still. But having the pace, let's say you're on a treadmill, right? Let's say you walk like, whatever the numbers on the machine say. Let's say it's 3.5. That's your comfort zone. It's always moving, but it's moving at that pace, right? Let's say you jog, right? Or you run, right? You have a certain pace. Say, hey, I'm comfortable with this pace. Or you're
Right.
comfortable with increasing your space, right? So that is also a comfort zone for me because you are in harmony with who you're supposed to be as that person, set of DNA that makes you who you are.
I hear what
Find
you're
your
saying.
comfort
I don't
zone or
disagree. Yeah.
find your harmony and be in it. Don't get out
Yeah.
of it.
I totally agree with that statement.
Like I
100%.
say, I don't understand the word comfort as much as maybe you do. And maybe that's what throws me off. But I think, if we can replace the word harmony, it make more sense.
It's what I have to do over and over again, and I get good at it. And I don't want to, and there's nothing else for me to want to go learn. Now, like, I have to put a caveat with that. Is like, look, I get it. To be world class at something, you have to be, when you hit that 95% of the novelty is gone and you only have 5% left to unlock, whatever of the level of what you're trying to get to, that doesn't intrigue me anymore. That extra 5%, like, that bores me. Like, I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, I mean, I don't want to be 100%. I'd rather go
Because
find
and
a certain
I think
zero,
I think
because the
I,
growth of 0 to like 95 is massive. The growth from 95 to 96 is boring to me.
I think I disagree with that because I think if you are really harmonized with who you are, it's you're gonna do that forever. I mean, you can do that as long as even if you live 1,000 years, you're gonna want to do that. If that is that who you are, then even if you live 1,000 years old or 10,000 years, you will play 10,000 years of tennis.
Yeah, but
If
you're missing a big point of what I'm trying to say is, yes, in tennis, there is no, you can always grow, and there is no, like, point in time where I feel like I'm not growing. There is points and times in every job that I've ever had, or any activity.
when you are aligned with the core value, there is unlimited space for growth.
Right,
Unlimited, Chris. Unlimited because it doesn't matter what it is. It's unlimited, meaning you would never get saturated with that particular activity. You will always do them. You always make new things. Like let's say I'm building mm, like apps, right? It's
right.
new apps, new
Yeah,
technology, new
yeah,
ways to
right.
do things. It never say, well, I'm doing
It's
the
always
same
a new
thing.
project. Yeah.
But because thing is inside of your balance, the center of balance, inside of your harmony. Your harmony is a moving target, right?
Maybe
Meaning like one of your core value is learning new things, right?
it
So
is.
if core value is no longer new things, like well, you can't just say, "Hey, don't learn anything," right? It's based on that particular core value itself. It's a moving target, so it keep
Right.
moving. And so for me, it's like when you are aligned, you don't get tired of it. I mean, it's like, "Hey, Chris, why are you eating eggs every day? Why you eat eggs every day, Chris? Why do you marry to one wife for life?"
I could argue I haven't been married to one wife for my entire life,
And that's
because she changes, just like I.
but that's my point is that she changes, and because of the changes, you are also. But the thing is, what I'm saying is the change is within the comfort.
Right.
Like I say, hey, I'm comfortable driving at 50 miles an hour. That means the car's still moving, but I'm comfortable at that particular rate of or or acceleration, a rate of acceleration, for
Right.
example, right? That
Right.
means that I'm going to 50 and 55, 60, right? It's still going, but I think it's still there is something there that is comfort, right? And I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going like from 55 to like 100, right? That is too much of an increase. But if I go steady increase, like from 60, 65, 70, whatever, that's a steady rate of increase. And so the act of the dynamic increase, the dynamic growth, and the aspect of learning, it is already being considered inside of the comfort zone that you hold, inside of that harmony.
Do you ever accidentally stumble upon a new road while you're driving home from somewhere, and you're just like, Can you remember the last time that happened where you were out, you're going to somewhere where you had to go, and then all of a sudden you found yourself on a new road and you were like, oh, this is interesting. I didn't know this went to this place. And then all of a sudden you find yourself like, this is pleasant. There's no traffic on this road. I'm driving through a nice little open area. And I didn't realize this connected to this place. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's what I'm talking about. When you drive to the same place every day and you drive the same route every day and you see the same stop to the same lights, and then all of a sudden you find a new road and you're like, oh, I can go a different way. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, to me, this is the thing. When you find a road, if you're not aligned with the road, or you don't really care that the road that you're finding isn't aligned with your core values, then it doesn't provide you any kind of benefits because it's not what you want to do. But because you are forced to go to work, you are forced to go downtown or whatever, then you go the same route which you already hate, and then you say, well, this is refreshing. It's like, hey, there is a nail that's stuck under your foot and somebody's pulling it out. I say, oh, it's relief. You're relieved, but it's not like, hey, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna find a different way. No, you had forced yourself to go take the road you want to take, right? Because if you never had to go to work, right, for what temporary forces to do, you're going to explore. When you explore, it's like, oh, yeah, what should I go today? You're gonna do that naturally. Naturally, you're gonna say, well, I want to go downtown. I'm going this way. I go left. I go right. You already comfortable taking new routes.
Yeah.
My point is, you are already comfortable with
this is where
of wanting to find new places to visit. Right. So when you're talking about the scenario where you found a road after, hating the road that you go every day, when you hate the road you travel, it's because somebody told you that you had to go to that place and back, that place and back. This is why you have misery, because you aren't in control of yourself.
I mean, argue with that.
You aren't allowed to fully express who you are as that entity.
Right.
You are a discoverer. If you are a adventurer, right? You will always be comfortable. Hey, I want to find a new path, and I will see every opportunity as a new path, and look forward to taking that path. And you feel comfortable doing that. You don't feel any anxiety. You don't feel any kind of stress, because when you stretch it, it stresses you out. For me, I'm excited to take on new projects because I know I can conquer. I'm excited to take on, like, hey, I would build the railings on my deck. I'm excited to do that.
Right.
I'm not anxious. I don't have any kind of stress out of it because I know I can handle it. And that is my comfort zone.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is people need to understand that comfort isn't something that is just fixed. And
call it the balance zone.
The thing is, when we say get out of your comfort zone, it irks me.
Get out of your boredom zone.
Get yourself off balance to stay balanced. It doesn't. I don't understand. I can't compute what it means to get off balance. Like, you are already balanced, because the thing is, by default, things are gonna tip you off balance.
No, but you can.
But why? Because in the world that we live in,
it's kind of fun. Honestly, it's kind of fun.
The thing, in the world we live in, there's already forces that's gonna make you off balance by default, right? Because you stand on.
That's how if you know that's how the universe operates, then why not go?
Why are you adding to your stress?
If the universe does it randomly at a random interval,
but I'm saying
why can't you do it at regular intervals?
The universe is already doing it. Right?
So it's not like you're doing something that doesn't align to the universe.
There's a moot point in trying to do things the universe is already doing.
Well, no, there's not, because that's what we're saying all along. It's like, taking ownership of going with the flow, running downhill.
Don't talk about extreme ownership.
I didn't say extreme. I did not. As a matter of fact, like I was writing my second reflection.
To me, it sounds like extreme ownership.
No, not
to
at
me.
No. We are not saying
balance, right? So, I mean, you are already on the treadmill of life, right? It is constantly moving. If you stop moving, then it's gonna push you back. Therefore, it's going to tip you off balance already. So you have to maintain a certain speed to maintain that comfort zone.
Right.
If not, then you get thrown off the universe. You get thrown off the balance of universe, and that's already been done. There is not a need for you to throw yourself off balance even more, right? Because if you are, then whatever you do is in your comfort zone because it isn't aligned. Because whatever you do, it is basically throw you off balance just enough for your activity that you want to do to balance it.
Right.
So
That's exactly what I'm saying.
balance is like a constant effort. It's never ever say, "Hey, I've got to this," and then
It's not.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
it's a dynamic state.
Exactly, constant effort to maintain balance.
Right.
It's
Right.
never ever say, "Oh, I got there. Okay, now what do I do?" That's not how.
What I'm saying.
The thing is, that's not how life works because you always. I mean, let me ask you this question: do you know what tomorrow will bring?
Nope.
Exactly, because you don't know. This is what to throw you off balance. So you're gonna say, "Well, I gotta get all my tools and my skills and ready for whatever throws at me. I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to balance. I'm going to balance on it, right? Because you never know what's going to come, so you're gonna have to balance, right? You think about it. So it's not like nothing happens. Like things are coming at you all the time, so you're gonna have to. Well, I gotta figure out how to be flexible and balance it.
I mean, you got to train. I mean,
the thing is, it's constant bombarding you already.
Well, what about your muscles atrophying? You know, like
the muscle will not atrophy because I don't know what you're trying to say, but
if you're ready,
no, you are designed to live in a constant flux of changes. Your muscle will atrophy only if you give up and do nothing, and that is not your comfort zone. I guarantee you, when you stay in bed for 16 hours a day, I mean, even for a week, you're gonna hate that bed because that's not what you want. The comfort isn't comfortable.
I can't do. I get the worst headaches. Like I get like my body starts.
But that's what I'm saying is you sit in bed for 16 hours. I'm not even asking you to do 24 hours. I'm saying 16 hours. You gonna be uncomfortable.
I'd be tortured.
Right? So what did you do? You didn't do anything. You have to do something to balance it, to be in the comfort zone.
I agree. All right, so we'll have to work on our be more impeccable with the words. I
mean, that's how we can be.
Keep working on it.
How we can understand further is be able to readjust the wording, and maybe the wording, maybe we not want to send the wording, or maybe we need to redefine the wording, and be able to understand really what it means to us when we say, balance, harmony, or comfort zone. And for me, is I'm struggling to understand the word comfort in this scenario because I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. I mean, for me to stay in bed is in my comfort. Is in my comfort zone. For me to watch TV 24 hours a day is in my comfort zone because I'm not sleeping, I'm not getting up, I'm not walking, I'm not peeing. Right? You think about it. It is very, very uncomfortable. So if anybody, I mean, that's the image that comes to my head. Is if you say, "Hey, I'm in a comfortable place," like I never want to. I mean, stagnant, actually uncomfort.
I know exactly. You make sense, and I know, and I hear what you're saying. So I am not. I don't know the word that you're trying to describe, other than I would say a balanced state.
Balance. Balance. I mean, that's a word because I don't want people to say I want to get off balance.
That's right.
Because it takes a lot of effort already.
Right.
To maintain balance. Because I asked you, Chris, hey, how's your balance? Sometimes you say, hey, I'm a 9. Sometimes I'm a 5. Sometimes I'm a 1. Because life just throws that at you, and you're trying to get back to the balance zone, whatever the number is, right? Because it throws you off the course, and you are at 1, right? Say, I'm running for train all day long, and I can't take this anymore, right? So you slow down, so you go back. And then when you go on to the 9s, I'm not stimulated. My brain isn't stimulating, and it's giving me boredom. I'm uncomfortable again. So I got to get back to 7, right? So 7 is your balance, and things are going to throw you out of balance regardless.
Yeah, I mean, too much stimulation can throw you out of balance.
So say, hey, I'm at 7, and now I'm going to do something that is outside of what I want to do so that I'm off balance, right?
Right.
Let's say, hey, Chris, you go, hey, I want to do my own taxes, just for the sake of it.
No.
Exactly. No point. Exactly. No, you could. You, hey, I want to do taxes. I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone.
Right.
Say no, thank you.
I
No,
could
thank you.
have tried to remodel my basement.
You could.
It would have been a fucking disaster. I mean, like, I would have probably killed myself, to be honest with you. All the stuff that I've seen these guys do, I would have been like, oh my god, like that probably would have taken me.
You're gonna make things even more. You damage it. Like let's say you run something on the wall and you suddenly your light turns off because you cut some wires and
That's what I'm saying.
sparks come out. The fire, like sparks come and burn your house down, or you hit some pipe and you flood in the house. Like it's not. I mean, the thing is, you think about it, it's a disaster if that's not what you want to do. And you say, "Hey, I want to get out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna go and remodel my house." Well, you might burn down your house, you flood your house, or whatever it is. You think, "Hey, I want to go and catch alligators," right? Well, you're gonna be missing limbs just because.
I do not want to do either one of those things, but no, you're
my point exactly. Yeah. It's a certain activities that aligns with who you are as a person.
Right.
That gives you a comfort zone.
Not a comfort zone.
So,
yeah.
Yes. We don't use that.
Fair enough. All right. So I think that's a good place to end for the night. Well, how do you keep yourself off balance to stay balanced? But how do you stay in that balanced state, I guess, is the question that we should finish this with. Something to think about. And we will see you all tomorrow night, live from Florida again.
Live from Florida. Okay. Right. Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Good night.